welcome to day 2. Thought we weren't going to plant today, but Matt said it's not supposed to rain as much. So.
Maybe I got my little temper tantrum out. I hate the first day of anything. I was sitting there trucking along, then all of a sudden I looked and speed went to 0. And
I don't even think Matt is moving.
Him and that planter are about to have it come to Jesus out here sometime tonight.
I've gotten a total of about 32 acres planted so far today. And we have not gotten much done. I've been on and off the phone with tech support for the last 3 hours. Looks like it's going to be another late night for us tonight. All right, well, this last little field we did on this farm, the swath control did just fine. It was supposed to, so I don't really know what's going on. So we're done with this farm. We're gonna move on into the Jackson City limits and get started on where the majority of my corn is gonna go. We got about 170 acres to plant in pretty much one big block in just a few separate fields. So we're gonna go try and make a dent on it this evening. Well, we safely made it over here. Traffic was not all that bad, surprisingly. You know, for 7 o'clock on a Friday evening, I would definitely have expected it to be worse. But now, see, we got a load up with seed now for this farm. We're still putting out mostly the same variety as what we were planting before, but we're adding our refuge corn seed over here too. And what I mean by refuge, it's strictly Roundup ready. It has no insect protection at all, and we do this to hopefully limit or delay the resistance of the insects to the technology in the seed that kills the insect. We gotta put 20% of our corn acres into a refuge, and what we're going to do is we're going to put the straight Roundup ready variety in 3 of the hoppers, and then we'll fill the other 9 up with the BT version of it. As you can see, Kelly and Zach are already done for the day. They've already gone home. Zach sprayed all the fertilizer co-op could get to us today, and Kelly sprayed what I told her to spray, what I thought earlier this morning that I could get covered in one day. Well, I don't know if I'm going to quite get it covered or not. It just depends on how late I want to work. Anyway, here, what we have here, this is the variety that I was planting, Pioneer 1464. It's a 114-day variety. It's a VYHR, which means it's got the BT trait in it. Got the Herculex and BT traits in it to control worms, keep European corn borers and also corn earworms from feeding on the crop. And then what we got here is our refuge. It's Pioneer 1870R. It's a 118-day corn variety. Yeah, I know it's 4 days longer than what 1464 is, but Pioneer only has like 2 offerings. I think only 1 offering in our area of a refuge, 118 days. So hopefully it'll work out all right. It's not that big of a difference in maturity. And you see, it's just a straight Roundup ready variety. And we'll put this in on 3 of the units, and then we'll put the 1464 in the rest of the units, and that should get us our refuge requirement. I just got done filling up. Got a nice big bottom down there. Oh, wow, I don't know if you can see that sunset, but boy, it looks good. Anyway, we got a nice big 53-acre bottom down there. I'll do my best to get it done. That's what Kelly's gotten sprayed so far today, so I sure would like to get it planted today just in case we do get more rain tonight than what's forecast. Y'all take a look at the inside of my cab. Between laptop, lunchbox, water jug, a water jug that keeps on falling over every time I hit a bump, drone controller, drone, all the monitors, all the charging cables I need for my camera equipment. It's getting kind of cramped in here. The lengths we go to give y'all video. Well, that didn't take long. 2 days into the new season and 2 late nights. It's just after 10 o'clock, but we're about to wind this big bottom up, call it a day. I thought I'd show you the rest about this precision planting monitor. You know, I kind of got cut off when I realized my swath control wasn't working, so there's a few more things I want to show you on it that's pretty neat. All right, I got it here on the big screen right here, just one map instead of two. We're looking at the applied downforce from the delta downforce right there. We just selected the downforce screen and give it a second to load here. That's how much downforce is being measured on the load cells on the gauge wheels. You see it's a lot more uniform. So we got real consistent down pressure, just enough to get the disc openers in the ground at the full depth and keep some weight on the gauge wheels. Now if you look, everywhere you see a little blue dot there, that means that the gauge wheels lost contact with the load cell, so we didn't get full downforce. But as you can see, it's very few and far between. Now we zoom out to the field right here. All right, you kind of see that streak of blue through there, and then on up here. That's where a pretty deep waterway runs through the field, and as wide as my planter is, it just can't flex enough to keep full downforce on every row unit. So that's where we lost ground contact through there. Now something else here. This planter is all electric drive. That means there's no shafts, chains, or transmissions on there like planters used to. There's an electric motor on each unit that drives the meter to meter the seed out. And here's a summary of all the motors right here. These two columns got the RPM of the motors. The second column right there is what the monitor is how fast the monitor is telling the unit to spin, and then the first bar is how fast it's actually spinning to get the desired population. Now it can speed up and slow down as the prescription changes, and it calls for different rates, or if I speed the tractor up and slow down, it will speed the meters up and down. Now as we go to the delta force page right here, here's how many pounds the load sensor is reading on each wheel. And then based on that, it's telling how much pressure each cylinder needs to get the downforce that it needs. And then right beside that is how much force is actually on the gauge wheels. Sorry about the bumpy screen there. All right, the last thing I want to show you is how the swath control works. Watch down here as the units come on as I go into unplanted area. So whenever the electric motor starts spinning, those green bars light up, and that's the seed tube showing that seed is going through. So you saw how they come off one at a time as the planter crossed from the inrows into the area that wasn't planting. Why that swath control is really, really useful, especially in our type of fields, is that we don't have any nice square fields. So as wide as our equipment is, whenever we get to the into the field, we got to turn around. A lot of times, part of our implement will be in a place that's already applied. Well, we don't want to double apply seed. We don't want to double apply chemicals or whatever. And that swath control is really handy in that it automatically cuts the sections on and off, so we don't over apply. And actually, with our types of fields, that results in about a 10% savings. you know, if I were to have to do all this manually, or if I didn't have any kind of section control in my planter, or if we're on the sprayer and having to flip the switches up and down to cut sections of the booms on and off, you know, we're still going to over apply about 10%. Technology is not cheap, but when you think about how expensive our crop inputs are, you know, saving 10% on crop inputs is a pretty big deal. And the problem I ran into earlier today was that my SWAT control in that farm, for whatever reason, was not working all the time. Sometimes when it get to the inroads where I'd already planted, it wouldn't see the coverage for whatever reason. I still hadn't figured out why, but it wouldn't see the coverage and wouldn't cut the units off. All the units would plant until I picked the planter up. So we're going to have a little bit of overplant on that farm, but ever since I moved to this farm, it's been working fine. I don't quite understand it. But we're down about the last 7 acres on this farm that we're going to do today. I'm going to go ahead and call it for today. I'm anxious to get home and get to bed. I'm pretty whooped after 2 long days. So anyway, we'll see you in the morning. After a good night's sleep, back at it again this morning. Well, I slept like a log last night. Kelly woke up in the middle of the night. She told me this morning I look like a dead person over there sleeping. I was slap wore out last night when I got home. So I got off the tractor at 10:35 last night. And top it off, got about halfway home, which we're about 8 miles away from home. Got about halfway home, had the trailer behind me, realized I left my dadgum phone in the tractor. So I turned back around, go get it. Finally got home about 11 o'clock last night. Almost fell asleep in the shower. But we're back at it again today. I feel pretty good. We actually got an early start today. Total, we got, what I want to get done today is about 135 acres done. That will get us over to our last farm to plant, to where we're going to plant test plots. And I've got University of Tennessee and Pioneer scheduled for first thing Monday morning on getting some test plots planted. Hopefully we'll make it over there, have the planter just about out of seed to where we can get those plots planted first thing Monday morning.
It's day 3. Yeah. Is it day 3? I think it's day 3. Day 3 of corn planting. Matt and Zach are already in the field. I had to make lunches. That's what I do. Destroying the house. I'm headed out to the field where we finished up last night, and I'm going to fill back up, and I'm going to go spray. The rest of that farm, I think, is about 40 acres, or maybe 30. I really don't know. And then I'm going to go to the next farm between the trees, and that is 65 acres or so. And then I'll be done for the day. I'm going to move. I'll probably call my dad and have him come pick me up. For that, I don't know. See where Matt's at. He was having massive issues yesterday. I think he was down for like 3 hours. And the worst part was the minute he moved fields, his problem was resolved. So I really think that field with as many trees as it has around it, because it's so small. What? No! You better act right. I ain't playing today. I'm not the boys. I treat you nice. It's probably so cold. I lost GPS signal twice yesterday and had to literally drive the sprayer around in a circle to try and get it. It's funny how we rely on GPS so much nowadays with our phones, with all of our equipment. So Matt had to old school it yesterday and just plant with a marker and turn everything off manually. I guess we're gonna attempt to pray that everything goes well today, because it is Saturday and nothing is open past 12. I love it.
I'm now glad that we kept on planting yesterday. We got just a really light shower last night. Wasn't even enough to get the streets wet. So I would have been pretty upset this morning if I had waited, if I had not planted yesterday, thinking, because I was worried about the rain coming in. We didn't get, we essentially got a hard dew out here. So plant conditions still good. Soil temperature still hovering there around 55 degrees. Not great, but the soil temperature's not going to get better until probably towards the end of next week. With the drier conditions, I think our seed's going to be all right. Just going to be a little slower on germinating and coming up because the metabolic process is going to be slower with the cooler soil temperatures. We just could not afford to wait, you know, another week to week and a half for the soil temperatures to get up, because once the soil temperatures come up, you don't know what the forecast is going to look like. They could be calling for rain every other day. Plus, we would be really behind on our corn crop. We'd be behind on our soybean crop. I don't know. We'll know in a couple of weeks whether we made the right decision or not planting. I think we did, but time will tell. Zach's on the fertilizer buggy waiting on Co-op to get here with some fertilizer. He's got about 130 acres of fertilizer to spread, and he'll have all the corn ground done, so he's going to go ahead and get that wrapped up today. Kelly's getting the water truck loaded up, and she should be on her way shortly. I'm actually right now I'm a few acres ahead of her on planting. She'll be able to follow the rows and get caught up and pass me pretty quick once she gets out here. She's going to go ahead and spray everything that I plan on getting planted today, and then the last farm, wait and spray that on Monday whenever I plant it.
All right, so I'm on this rodeo by myself today. Zach is spreading fertilizer and Matt's like way over there. So I'm gonna go fill up everything. I got 2 tank loads to spray today.
Had a couple days of cloudiness here in a row. I don't like planting when it's cloudy. I sure wish the sun was shining, but I think the weatherman says it's supposed to come out either later today or tomorrow. Hey, time to fill up with seed again. We're done with the Pioneer 1464, and we're swapping to a new variety we'd never planted before, but really showed out strong in the test plots last year. Pioneer 1506 YHR. But because this is a non-proven variety for us, we haven't actually seen it in large scale on our farm. We just seen it in test plots. We're going to increase our refuge acres with this variety, with a proven variety that we know will do good. So we're going to add a little bit more of the Pioneer 1870R in there. We're going to add one more row of it. Doing it this way ought to give us a good look at this variety and see how it performs, but for some reason it does fall flat on its face. We'll have a good bit of a proven variety that we know will do good in there, so hopefully we won't lose too much yield. Anyway, got a lot of bags to load up here and got a lot of inoculant to mix up in it. It takes a long time to load 36 bags of seed and mix in inoculant and all that. Got a big mess here. Well, we got a big mess here. Y'all want to see a bonfire? Kind of wish Kelly left me some hot dogs. I use them mid-afternoon snack right now. Hey, well, let's get back to planting. Only about 90 acres to go today. Zach just got done spreading fertilizer and getting the fertilizer buggy washed and oiled down and put up, and Kelly had an emergency she had to take care of at home, so Zach's gonna come over here and finish spraying for her today. She was about 20 acres in front of me whenever she had to leave. like supper has arrived. It's almost dark. We got about another 19 acres in this field, and then 28 acres in the bottom, right down at the bottom of the hill, and we'll be done for this week. We're covering the ground pretty quickly right now, though. We're in a nice big 50-acre field. Got probably half-mile long rows, so the acre counter is going by quickly. We're covering about 21, 22 acres an hour at 5 miles an hour. But I will be glad for a day off tomorrow. Take Sunday off and be back out here Monday. Hopefully get this corn wrapped up and quickly turn our attention to soybeans. This year all of our acres are going to be down except for wheat, because if you remember from earlier videos, I lost about 23% of the land that I was farming last year. I lost 3 different farms. One of them I got out of the contract because the landowner had subdivided so much of the ground, it just wasn't worth getting over to that farm. It was a pretty risky move. Got to drive through busy part of Jackson and down through several subdivisions to get to it. There's only about 16 acres left on that farm, and really just wasn't worth it anymore. Then a farm real close to it that backs up to that farm, the landowner passed away, and his kids decided to sell the farm. Originally I thought I was going to get to work that farm again this year because they hadn't had any luck actually getting anybody to bid on it last year, and they called me back in December, told me they wanted me to work it, and I went ahead and ordered seed for it. I didn't think to actually get a written contract from them, and then they called me back a month later, said that they'd had a bid on the farm and they didn't want me to work it anymore. So I had about 50 acres in that farm, but the real killer was a 380 acre farm, you know, probably overall my best ground, fence line to fence line. The owner, who had farmed it himself up until 2007, when he got out after that terrible drought in 2007, he decided he wanted to try to start working himself again. So can't really argue with a man wanting to work his own ground again. But anyway, well, let's see what Kelly brought me to eat tonight. I hope it's a nice greasy burger. What you got for me?
I just got smacked in the face by a bug.
A little chilly for him.
How many acres do you have left on this?
44 acres.
Big field, you should be able to get done.
I'm working on it. Appreciate you bringing supper.
Huh?
Appreciate you bringing supper out.
Adios, amigo.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Well, it is 11:30 at night. I am folding up and heading to the next farm where my truck is. Unfortunately, I did not get done over here because I had a problem with a meter and lost about a third of a bag of seed. So I ran out of seed before I got done over here. Got just a few acres here, but no way of getting any seed over here tonight. So I reckon after I get my last farm finished up, I'll just have to come back, drive all the way back over here Monday and get this wrapped up. Anyway, I am tired. I'm ready to go home. But at least there shouldn't be any traffic I got to deal with on the on the drive over to the next farm. Anyway, I guess I'm gonna call it a wrap on this video. We'll see you in the next one come Monday.